Hello everyone, welcome to Level Up Tech. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to perform sentiment analysis by integrating Vertex AI with UiPath Cloud Studio. As we know, UiPath has two tools, that is, one is UiPath Studio Desktop, where we would be having the desktop app to build the RPA solutions, and the other one is UiPath Cloud Studio. So it is completely a cloud platform where again we can build the RPA solutions to automate all the repetitive tasks, right? So in this video, we will build the solution using UiPath Cloud Studio, okay? And the problem statement which I'm going to cover, right? So in today's world, if we take any business, we would be having customers, right? And the customers would be having some sort of issues, right? Especially in this particular video, we are going to discuss about the banking domain. Okay, so if a customer faces any issue on the banking application, or else the issues any fraudulent activities on their accounts, so then what they will do, they will reach out to the bank directly, or else they would be raising the request in application, or else they would be sending the mail to the bank employees, right? So this is how they would be addressing their concerns to the bank. But for the bank to take prompt actions for the customer's request, right, it might get delay also. Sometimes responding to the customer would get delay, because of that the customer would not be satisfied. So in order to avoid this, we are going to implement a AI based solution. That is, we are going to analyze the customer's request, and we are going to analyze that particular sentiment, post which we are going to take the prompt action. Okay, so by this we can avoid the time delay or time gap between the customer and to the bank. Okay, so here the tool which I am going to use is, as I have already mentioned, that is UiPath Cloud Studio. This is for building the RPA solution. But how are we going to analyze the sentiment? For that, I'm going to use Vertex AI, which is by provided by Google Cloud Platform. That is basically by Google. Okay, so we are going to see in this particular video, we are going to see how to do the setup. So basically, in order to use this Vertex AI with Cloud Studio, right, then we should be doing some setup in the GCP platform, that is Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so for that, we have to create the project. That should be our first step. And creating the service principal, that should be the second step, and assigning the required permission to the service principal for accessing this particular Vertex AI. Okay, so this would be our third step. Post which, once we are done with this particular thing, the next thing what we are going to do is we are going to create a prompt, right? So because it is a Gen AI thing. Okay, so in Gen AI, like we can design a model. So if we talk about machine learning, we can design or we can train our own model. But in this use case, I'm not going to train the model. I'm just going to use the prompt. Okay. Post which, once we are done with prompt creation, the next step would be building the solution in UiPath. And we are going to call all the things, whatever things that we have done earlier, right? That is, we have created the prompt, right? And we would be creating these projects and all. So combining all those things, we are going to build the solution in UiPath Cloud Studio. So getting started with the very first step, what I have mentioned, that is creating the project in GCP, right? So how we can do that? So go to your browser and type Google Cloud Platform. Okay. So once we do that, it will take us to the Google Cloud Platform console. So before that, you have to create a account first in GCP. Then you can follow the same process, whatever which I'm doing currently. Okay. So here, if you see on the top left, you have we have few things, that is select a project, right? And under this, I have already created two projects. One is UiPath email automation and the other one is GCP storage. Now if we want to create a new project, what should we do? On top right, you see new project, right? So just click on that. As soon as we click on that, it is going to ask us the project name. As I'm using the trial version, I would be able to create 25 projects. Okay, as I have already created two projects, so now I'm left with 23 alone. So now we are going to create one more project. Okay, and give any project name that you want. So here we are doing sentiment analysis, right? So I'll give the same name, sentiment analysis, and just click on create. Okay, so now we are done with our first step, creating the project in GCP. And you can see on the right hand side, it is creating the project. Now you can see it has created the project. Okay, so how you can confirm that? Again, click on this drop down, and now you would be able to see something called a sentiment analysis. Now we have to go inside this project, post which we can create a service principal for this particular project. Okay, and to create the service principal, just go to API and services and go to credentials. Once we are in credentials page, now here you can see we have something called as create credentials. Okay, so just click on create credentials, and now what we want to do, we want to create service principal. Basically it is a service account which we are going to use. Instead of using each and use individual users account, we are going to use one service account. That service account can be used by anyone. Okay, so now I'm going to hit on service account, and now it will be asking me to provide the service account name. Okay, so what I will do, I'll give the same thing, sentiment analysis, and it will give a create the service account ID on its own, and nothing, no need to do anything. Just click on create and continue, and do continue, post which just click on done. Now we are done with our second step, that is creating the service principal. What is our third step? Assigning the required permission to the service principal, right? Why we need to assign the permission? Because if we want to hit this Vertex AI, there should be some permissions needs to be given to the service account. Okay, then only you would be able to access the Vertex AI using the service account. So how we can do that? And here you can see this is the service account which was created. Okay, just I'm going to copy this and go to IAM or admin. This is the place where we would be giving access to the service principal. Just go to IAM and click on grant access, and here you have to give the service principal which we have created. So this is the service principal which we have created, right? So I'll choose that, and here assign role, right there we have to give the correct role. So basically which role we want to give, we need to give the Vertex AI related thing, right? So just scroll down all the way down, and you would be seeing something called as Vertex AI, and just scroll towards right, and here you need to give Vertex AI user. So this is the role which is responsible for accessing the Vertex AI. Okay, just click on save. So now we are done with the assigning the access also to the service principal. And once we create service principal, right, we would be getting one JSON key. That key is required for us. Why that key is required? Because if we want to integrate the Vertex AI with UiPath, right, that particular JSON key is required for us. The service account JSON key is required. So how we can get that? Again, go to the APIs and services and go to credentials, and here you see something called as key. Okay, and just click on add key, create new key, and we are going to use the recommended one which was given by Google. Okay, I'll go with the JSON key, and once you click on create, now the JSON key will be getting downloaded in our local. As you can see, it has appeared here, right? So just I will store it in my local. So job done. So these are all the prerequisite steps that we need to take care in the GCP console.